What's up, everyone? So we can see that there's slow progress being made on the background, but we're getting there. Anyways, I wanted to make the next video features-filled video where I discuss a lot of the projects that I'm actually working on and some of the things that I'm bringing to you guys. I wasn't able to do that quite yet because I had this story which kind of interrupted it. So I wanted to jump on it because it's a kind of an important one. Recently, there was a post on Dread that was specifically aimed at Alice. And it wasn't malicious or anything like that. It was just Paris hopping on, basically telling people, hey, listen, be careful, because there really hasn't been any activity coming from market staff on Alice, which makes sense. And we expect to see that kind of stuff there. However, it was also interesting that there was no actual reaching out to them or anything like that. It was just, hey, they haven't moderated or done anything in a while. Be careful. I appreciate them going out and saying that, but at the same time, I think that they should try to reach out to the market staff to actually see what's going on, because Paris didn't. Not that that's their job or his job or whatever. I did because I was interested to see, because they have a couple of cool projects in the works that I know about that I wanted to see come out. And I really hoped that what the insinuation wasn't necessarily true, that they weren't all AFK. So first, we'll check out Paris's actual message. Now, in the message, we can see that it's signed by Paris. It just says, for the past few days, there's been no activity, no commenting, posting, moderating, or messaging on all the associated Atlas market staff accounts. To the best of our knowledge, there are multiple people running Atlas, so all of them going dark for multiple subsequent days is unusual. Dread staff urges caution at this time with depositing or placing orders. Maybe hold off a few days until staff can prove life. This is great advice. It's very solid, very well said. One thing I really appreciate about Paris is the factual consistency that you kind of see. Very much reminds me of developers that I've worked with in the past. So I ended up reaching out to them and got that proof of life that we're talking about. Now, one thing I want to be clear about, just because someone sends a PGP encrypted message doesn't necessarily guarantee that at the end of the day, that person is that person. So if, for example, you had feds run in and grab someone and they were able to either hijack the computer where they cut the electrical line and make sure that the power stays onto the computer so it doesn't turn off, it doesn't, activate encryption. You don't have that full disk encryption that usually exists is already been accessed, and you already have access to it once you're logged in, the computer started up. So they might hijack a computer to take it with them. Really not the case nowadays. A lot of the times you just see them copy it. They'll try to snatch people when they're actually using the computer, or use other more nefarious means, especially the AFP, to go in and actually get someone's credits. So anyways, side issue, I digress. I'm getting off topic. I ended up reaching out to Atlas staff, and here's what they said. So we can see here that one of my first messages was just saying, I hope everyone's all right. They responded back about 5 hours later, you can see here, where the main admin said that they were okay and that Hourglass was, in fact, MIA. Never a good thing. But he pointed out that things have been pretty hectic, and more or less that Hourglass was responsible for things like managing disputes and handling tickets, which left him and the other admins as the only actual active admins, which sucks. And to make it even worse, he was out of town apparently. He also wanted to talk about, how he apparently had some serious health issues, Hourglass, which, really sucks. I personally like Hourglass. I really hope that he's okay and pulls through. If you're watching this, I hope you feel better, man. I hope you're still alive. I think, do a lot for the community. It was interesting seeing he was actually the one who posted the initial post on Dread, pointing out the whole thing with Hug Bunter and the, accusation by Tor Times saying that Hug Bunter was actually ripping people off, making vendor sites. So Hourglass is very much someone who I would consider to be on point for what I've seen. So it really kind of sucks seeing a good community member down and not feeling well. So I wish him the best. I hope a speedy recovery. But getting back to the matter at hand, he basically says that in the meantime, they're going to do their best to address all the tickets and disputes as effectively as possible, but to bear with them because they have some catching up to do, which makes sense. So you can see here, basically I said, hey, a signed message would be really good. And of course, I asked for the signed message to address you guys specifically because you're the ones that I'm making this for. You're the ones that I care about. You're the ones who I enjoy actually going back and forth with. This is not for Dread. It is not for the people on Dread. It is for you guys who enjoy my content. And this is where I talk about the news. So that said, of course, I was like, can you address it to the subscribers? And I think he ended up writing the signed message prior to actually, turning around and sending it to me. So that wasn't included. So that kind of sucked. But anyways, I was, happy to see proof of life. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean that you should trust it. It shouldn't, just because a message is signed by a Darknet market admin or even a vendor doesn't necessarily mean that you're guaranteed that you're talking with that person. It increases the chances that you're speaking with that person, but it should never be an absolute truth that you're like, oh, I'm definitely safe now, because that's just not the case at all. In any case, it was good to see some kind of verification, even if it's not 100%, that someone is actually manning the ship. That's a great thing to know. So with that, we saw this message. And he basically said, I want to acknowledge that in the past days have been particularly hectic for Atlas. Many of you know our admin Hourglass has been missing for nearly a week. He was primarily responsible for managing disputes and handling tickets, which has left me and Potion as the only active admins at this time. Unfortunately, I was out of town and unaware of the critical situation unfolding. I want to share that Hourglass informed me he was hospitalized due to serious health issues. I have not heard from him since. We are concerned for his well-being. We do not know if he is dead, MIA, or in custody. In the meantime, Potion and I will do the best to address all tickets and disputes as effectively as possible, but please bear with us as it may take some time for us to catch up. I will keep you updated here, and I will share any news regarding Hourglass as soon as we receive it. Thank you for understanding and support during this challenging time. Signed by shared Alice admin, and so, let's go. We'll copy this and let's throw it into Kleopatra to see if we can verify it. Hey, so now we're in Kleopatra. We'll paste in this message. You can see it's the same thing. Feel free to rewind it and double check that it's not, not legit. And I already have the admin's PGP, so we're gonna hit verify. And we can see here that it's been verified as Alice admins, right? And there you have it. So at the end of the day, we do have some form of proof of life from the Alice market team, which is, again, it's absolutely great. It seems that 1/3 of the admins aren't there. The good thing is, typically when you have admins like this, if they've structured their organization correctly, a admin who handles things like disputes or PR or things along that, those kind of lines, much like any corporation, is going to have limited access to things like the server. So, for example, if he was caught and it was feds that, are now going through his stuff, because that's how it happens. They go dark. Typically, they go dark. The feds are going to grab everything. They're going to start going through everything. And if you have someone like Blake Benthal, or DEFCON, aka DEFCON, who ran Silk Road 2, who ended up being a cooperator and working with the feds for 10 years, that person's going to disappear, and they might crop back up asking stupid questions or, trying to confirm things that have already been stated or acknowledged. So there are a ton of ways that you can actually recognize a CI or a Fed. And the video is not what this is meant for, but me pointing out that, he's MIA, I just want to say that at the end of the day, you should always kind of anticipate worst case scenario. For him, worst case scenario is death. for everyone else in the equation, worst case scenario is that, he's caught and they're going through all this stuff. They're reviewing PMs and stuff like that now. So if I was someone who was doing business with him on a regular basis, I think I would take the time now to sanitize, clean house. This is kind of just a standard thing, a standard operating procedure that one should have if they're operating in this world, specifically regarding their OPSEC. They should have these kind of things that are just knee-jerk reactions that happen as soon as bad things happen or unknowns happen. An unknown in OPSEC is an absolute nightmare because your job is to secure information. And if there's an unknown entity or an unknown adversary, you have to assume the worst. And going back to what I was saying, typically with the structured system that's set up with darknet markets and darknet market admins, someone who handles disputes or PR or whatever, little minor things, they're going to have significantly less access to the back end in general. They're going to have much less privileges than someone else. So if that person does get popped or there is an issue, they can kind of do damage control without it being a whole really big deal. So in any case, I wanted to bring to you guys the fact that even though on Dread, they're like, oh, these people are missing, that, they are missing, but we saw that there is a signed message, it is legit. Now, what I'm going to do is this message that's signed, I will take it and I will post it on doingfedtime.com or sambent.com. You can use either to actually get there. That way you can go, you can see the message for yourself. You can, highlight the text. You don't have to type out all the, the actual signed message to try to verify it. But the original, will be there and you can verify it. I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm really excited about the next video, which again was supposed to be all the kind of cool stuff that I have going on. Some of the stuff is actually going to be ready to be released, and it's going to be, it's free stuff, basically. So I really look forward to doing that video. This video is very much a on-the-fly, kind of just me pointing shit out and spitting it out real quick, because I just wanted to get this out there. I'll let you guys know that, in fact, there is some kind of proof of life coming from Alice Market, which again, I was really excited about because they do have some really cool projects on the back end that they're working on. And I think having a darknet market that, has admins that aren't either habitual liars or, narcissists is really great. And I think it's awesome to be able to actually talk to a darknet market admin or these darknet market admins, as the case is with Atlas, and not have them be egomaniacs who are hyper emotional. So in any case, if you're wondering or you're freaking out, I mean, you kind of still should freak out. Plan on the worst case scenario of actually what's going on. But it's kind of nice to know that it's not like an exit scam and there is some kind of proof of life. Now, am I saying it's guaranteed not an exit? No, I'm not. It's not a guarantee that it's not an exit scam. I don't know what it is, but you don't know either. In fact, no one knows. Like with any kind of thing that happens, the only people that actually know what's really going on are the people who we ended up messaging and talking to. They're the people who actually own the markets and run the markets. Everything else is speculation. If it's not a signed message, it's speculation, in my opinion. And even that is not really something you can wholeheartedly trust. So there's virtually nothing that you can actually trust. I hope this video informed you a little bit. I know it's been super long-winded, so I'm going to go ahead and kill it. But it was awesome speaking with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.